So I got a question from Theodore in a comment section. Why do we say we don't proselytize, but I encourage people to evangelize? Well, proselytize, it might just be a distinction between two words that mean the same thing to the Westerners, but in our eyes, right, proselytizing, think of what the Muslims did, or what, and I'm not blaming I don't want to personally offend Roman Catholics, but what the Roman Catholic armies did in Eastern Europe, or what some modern day Protestant sects do, right? Threatening with either physical violence or hell, bribing with either money or miracles, that would be proselytizing. Evangelizing is spreading the good news, right? Now, certainly there's warning people of hellfire, damnation, destruction, right? That is what the Protestants do. Has anybody come to Christ that way? I don't know. Maybe they have. But the alleviation of, I think most people are trying to find when they come to Christ or the church, not really a difference between the two, at least this side of the curtain, is alleviation of mental and spiritual torment that they're experiencing now, or the emptiness of the undisciplined life, or the physically that kind of thing. But proselytizing, look at what the Muslims did. They spread they spread their religion by the sword, and when they weren't doing that, they still spread it by the sword. They took over an area and imposed dimitude and made the lives of the Christians and the Jews a living hell, and burdened them with taxes, and made it made the blacks in the South living under Jim Crow look like a paradise, you know. The second class citizen. It's not even second class citizen. They treated them subhumanly. They weren't even citizens of the nations that they were indigenous to. They were just fodder, potential chattel. So the Orthodox, having a long history of this, since almost all of our lands were taken by the Muslims. Our holiest lands. Think of the holiest places of Christendom: Palestine, Syria, and Egypt, now under Islamic rule. So that was experienced by the Muslims, or by the Eastern Orthodox, Eastern Christians, at the hands of the Muslims. And then we had Roman Catholic incursion armies in Eastern Europe, and that's where we get the Uniates from, where they say you can keep all your traditions, you just have to be loyal to the Pope, because we could see up until the Troubles, as late as the 1990s, the Protestant and Catholic, you're basically, your race, your allegiance, your nationality was your religion, so they would be bribed in some cases, and the Muslims also would bribe people, and they still do, to convert to Islam, because once you convert, they'll kill you if you turn back. And then we have the Protestants, which will, and I don't believe the Lutherans do this, but the Pentecostals and the Baptists will promise miracles. They will also bribe people, and then they will they will try to put the fear in children. If you've ever seen Jesus Camp, basically through abuse, mental torture, and that's nowhere taught to us. It's nowhere in the New Testament how how we're supposed to bring the good news. It's supposed to be good news. It's supposed to be alleviation. Christ is the chief physician. So evangelize always, but never proselytize. It's just kind of like when we say we revere the Bible, we revere the cross, we revere the Theotokos, we revere the saints, but we do not adore them, because adoration is worship. But in that case, both of those, whether you're reverencing something or adoring it, it would look exactly the same, but it's the intention. With proselytizing and evangelizing, they look very different, even if they might have the same outcome in the end, if the person converts or not. Now, somebody can convert for the wrong reason, like they marry or something, and then after experiencing the services and listening to the gospel, then they truly become, they devote their heart to Christ and the church. But yeah, that's the difference between proselytizing and evangelizing. And one thing I have to say is the Orthodox have really failed in evangelizing. We have really, really failed in that arena. And it just seems like we're soaking up the disillusioned, disenfranchised Western Christians. And we really should be evangelizing to the whole world, because Christ told us to go to every nation, baptizing in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And who are we to say that we're part of the church, but then say, well, we're not going to do that? And that evil Athenagoras in 1920 told us not to do that, which he is anathema. As we say in Orthodoxy, the floor of hell is paved with the skulls of bishops.